Thank you, Professor Minow, and thank you to all the deans for all the work you do and for joining us here today. It is truly inspiring to hear all the work that is being done by and for the next generation of lawyers in addressing the justice gap. And you can all see why the Board of Directors misses Martha Minow so much. My name is Lori Mikva, and I'm a member of the board. I also am a proud former employee of Land of Lincoln Legal Aid. I have the honor of introducing our next speaker, Chief District Judge Rebecca Pallmeyer of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. Chief Judge Pallmeyer has served as a district court judge since 1998. She became the chief judge in 2019, the first woman to serve in that role in the 200-year history of the court. Sorry, I'm almost done. Prior to appointment to the district court, Judge Pallmeyer served as an administrative law judge for the Illinois Human Rights Commission and as a magistrate judge for the Northern District. She graduated from the University of Chicago and clerked for Minnesota Supreme Court Justice Rosalind Wall. She's the recipient of numerous awards, including the Justice John Paul Stevens Award, the Phi Beta Kappa Chicago Distinguished Service Award, the Chicago Inn of Court Joel M. Flom Award, and that's to name just a really small number. Judge Pallmeyer is a representative to the U.S. Judicial Conference. She's an honorary fellow to the College of Labor and Employment Lawyers and a fellow of the American Bar Association. She's active in the Chicago Bar Association, the Federal Bar Association, the Women's Bar Association of Illinois, and the American Bar Association. And please join me in welcoming Chief Judge Pallmeyer.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for including me in this afternoon's celebration of LSC's birthday. When I graduated from law school, the Legal Services Corporation was an elementary school. Now it's firmly middle-aged and can boast of the accomplishments and satisfactions that most 50-year-old professionals would love to claim. Or we might think of today as an anniversary celebration. Those of you who've had the good fortune to celebrate 50 years with a loved one may know that the traditional 50th anniversary gift is gold. Gold to symbolize wisdom, prosperity, and strength. Can we say that LSC has these characteristics? I answer that question with a resounding yes. So at the cocktail hour, I know the cocktail hour is coming, and I'm going to keep this short. I propose a toast to the 50th anniversary of this wise, prosperous, well, somewhat, and strong organization. But first, to comment on my perspective on access to justice. Of course, the services of attorneys are of enormous assistance to the court. Perhaps the most obvious service they provide to unrepresented individuals and for the court is convenience. Pro se litigants don't know how to draft a complaint. Sometimes they believe that unfair treatment by anybody is a federal offense. They don't understand what it means when a court has no jurisdiction, or the difference between state and federal jurisdiction. Let's face it, in some ways, federal jurisdiction is a concept that only a lawyer could love. When lawyers represent the otherwise unrepresented, those problems are swept away. We judges can then focus on the merits. And when there are lawyers on both sides of a dispute, the resolution will nearly always be a better one. Most important, though, when a lawyer is involved, the client is more likely to feel respected and heard. A litigant who has not only the perception but the reality of being respected and heard will have respect for the law and will have confidence in the process. So when attorneys represent individuals who would otherwise be on their own, they are providing a direct service to our courts. Now let's talk about how attorney representation of persons without resources benefits society as a whole. In our nation, in every nation, the need for a system that resolves human disputes is acute. Can we rely on the courts to be that system and to resolve disputes fairly? We can only if the public perceives the system to be a fair one. One where, in the words of the judicial oath, we do equal right to the poor and to the rich. If people who come before the courts suspect that the system is rigged, they will not seek recourse through the courts. They will not respect the results reached by the courts. And a lack of respect undermines safety for all of us. As Frederick Douglass said in the late 19th century, where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade, then neither persons nor property will be safe. Friends, we live in troubled times. There are sharp divisions among us, between red and blue, among classes and races, disputes about reproductive rights, about the border, about wars in Gaza and Ukraine are bitter and harsh. Lawyers can't mend all of these wounds, but there are divisions that we can reach across. Lawyers are, in general, of a professional class, well-educated, financially secure, if not well-off. Many of the individuals represented by LSC and by these law students we heard about earlier are working class people or indigent. They have limited education. They live paycheck to paycheck if they're employed at all. They are suspicious of authority, and they can be cynical about the notion of equal opportunity. Lawyers who provide legal service to the poor struggle to reach across those barriers. It can be hard to have respect or even sympathy for persons who are not only very different from us, but who have sometimes made what appear to be very poor choices. But struggle we must. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg observed that for the privilege and status of our law licenses, lawyers have an obligation to provide legal services to those without the wherewithal to pay, to respond to needs outside themselves, to help repair tears in their communities. Some of us are solo practitioners, but not one of us is truly solo. We are part of a society that needs us. In the words of Gwendolyn Brooks, we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. And thus, when attorneys represent individuals who would otherwise be on their own, they are providing a service to a society that needs mending. A final comment. We've talked about how pro bono legal services, the services of LSC, benefit the courts and can benefit society. What we haven't talked about is the greatest value of the work of LSC and its attorneys, assistance provided to individual clients. One more quote here, this one from Eleanor Roosevelt. Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. Or as the German poet Richard Daimler put it, a little kindness from person to person is better than a vast love for all mankind. For 50 years, LSC has been providing important services to the courts, to society, but most of all to individual clients who need them and whose lives are made better through the efforts of these dedicated lawyers. Indeed, this little kindness from person to person is better than a vast love for all mankind and becomes the vast love for all mankind. Thank you.